they have a sparkling jewel that can make things happen that mere mortals only dream of. If Glasgow are to defy the odds, they will need one or two pieces of South Sea magic to pull this one off.
Jay Fidor, one of the leading officials for the RFU, is the man blowing the pitch. Graham Hughes, the television match official, nice and snug and warm and dry in our trucks. Any sort of win today for the reigning champs, and they will be at home for the quarterfinals, and we know how strong they are there. But first, to overcome this belligerent Warriors team here at Scotstoun. Looking out of the curtains this morning, it's amazing that this game is still on, but the pitch is in pretty good condition, really, considering all the rain we've had. The water hogs have been out, the covers came off. Until this near side, it gets really boggy, but the pitch is not bad at all, and the game goes ahead, and everyone's very, very pleased about that as Jackson for Glasgow just fires it out. Talking to Gregor Townsend before the game, he said we've got a few surprises up our sleeve today. See if we can spot them. They'll need a performance, right? They'll need a start as well. Al Kellogg not involved today with that bicep surgery. He's been saying that they need to do exactly what Toulon did to them down at the Stade Felix Mail.
Well, they were frustrated, embarrassed and frustrated in that first 40, you said, Johnny, because they just came into the game in sort of a good nick. The defensive structure was good, and they just stood off Toulon. And I've got to say that was the best 40 Toulon have played all season. Since then, I think you mentioned flattered to deceive. They've struggled a little bit. They've got a few wins. They lost at home against Grenoble. Laporte's been throwing the toys around, and they'll go back to basics today, as I think they did last week against Cardiff. Get into field position, use the pack, that man in particular, Bakis Bota, and squeeze the opposition.
Last week, as you say now, Toulon showed their power with a little help from Greg Garner's whistle and pocket. Glasgow were 10-0 down, weren't they, against the Exeter Chief, but then a historic win. First win against an English side on English soil. Puts them in good shape for this game today. A few injury concerns that they have. Strauss as well at number 8. Lack of go forward for them, and that leadership we've already spoken about with Al Kellogg.
And this is important. I know the pitch isn't great. I won't go into another weather report. I might do that at half-time, but it isn't great. But again, these guys, the Glasgow Warriors, have to, excuse the pun, front up. They've got to hold these guys, Van Niekerk, Bakis Bota, Suter, Heyman, Sheridan. They can't afford to give them first footing, in a sense, is getting going forward. They've got to hold on and get parity at least in the scrums.
So we know the makeup of the quarter-finals in terms of the team, the top 8. A thumping victory for Saracens over Connacht. 11 tries, wasn't it? Munster a favourite.
Well, if I've got my maths right, with Toulouse struggling in Zebra, they've got a 20 through 16 tries. Munster simply only have to score 4 tries to get to 17 and put them on 23, so that would give them a quarter. I am right. That's a home quarter, obviously, so Munster has ever got something to play for.
Meteorological degree coming out, your maths degree now.
Yeah,
like Wurzel Gummidge, the different heads.
I can bore the best of them, mate.
You see the power from Toulon coming through. Wilson picks up. Named in the Six Nations squad this week. 16 players in all from Glasgow, 5 more than Edinburgh. Often been the case over the last few years. Nakararo, only his second start for the club, the Fijian second row. Jackson are there, playing with some width, aren't they, Glasgow? They've had plenty of possession in this opening couple of minutes. Fusuro, Purgos, James Eddy, preferred to Rob Harley. 100th appearance. So they get a motivating factor from that. Dylan Armitage, stayed cool and calm. But Matualu is offside.
Clever kick from Purgos, though, straight over the top. Nakawara is a big unit, he can carry for him. Rory Jackson is lovely. Decoys coming in, knowing that something will happen. And that's it, it bounces. Armitage does very well, but Matualu, the Fijian, just in front of Fergus initially, so they will give Wilkinson a chance of a bendy ball kick.
Give them the line, give
Well,
them
it was
the
a
line,
kick,
guys.
not so bendy.
It's stopped raining now, thank goodness. But this morning it was teeming down. Soggy boots and socks all.
I think a lot of credit to the ground staff and supporters who have come, and like I said, I didn't think at one stage they would be able to warm up on this pitch. They did, they took the covers off. The cloud cover has gone a little bit and there's a bit of wind, so it's drying, but it is a bit of a pudding out there, but they've done very, very well just to get the game on.
Cool, 2 games off over the festive season here at Scotstoun. Treviso and that 1872 return leg against Edinburgh. You see Glasgow really, really good at that line out. They know how dangerous the Toulon driving maul is from the line out. They defended it really well to begin with. They've given the penalty away now though, but Shea Monroe, forwards coach here at Glasgow, will be happy with that opening defensive work from that line out. But this another penalty gives Johnny Wilkinson the chances to play it down into the Glasgow half, and again the power will come through.
This is the game plan. This is the way you want to do it. It would have been the game plan coming into this. Bernard Laporte was just saying, I don't trust you playing a more expansive game. We've got to win this game. We've got to have a home quarter final. We'll use the big beasts. Craig Burden to throw in. Got stuck in a lift this morning. Several forwards got stuck in the lift in the hotel, and he's got claustrophobia. Good first throw though.
One of those lifts say 8 persons. With this Toulon front five should be about 3 of them, shouldn't it?
It's a true story. Steve Walsh, the conditioner, was with a wry smile on his face. 45 minutes they were stuck in there.
I'm glad you're not lying on there anyway, Dave.
Never lied to him.
From the spot. Here's Carl Heyman right at the forefront. A scrummaging performance against the Blues. Stade Alliance Riviera last week in Nice. Slightly different conditions, certainly, last Saturday. As Wilkinson takes it up. Again, he's going to be a muscular performance. Here's Sheridan. First game back last week, neck injury. I don't think he's going to ever play again. Managing week by week, but he's another big part of shoring up this scrum, which has struggled this season for Toulon. No doubt about that. Return of Craig Burden as well, and his bicep injury. With no Sebastian Bruno, no Benoit Naro, who is signed to cover Bruno. There's Suter.
Just keep ball now. This is exactly where they wanted. They're in the right territory. They're hoping now the Glasgow Warriors will give a penalty away, because that's the game plan. Penalty, 3 points, move back, start again.
Any win, 3-point win, drop goal. First one of the day is charged down. Here's David Smith. Heyman again with the pick and go.
Softening up period, isn't it? Using your big forwards. Heyman will carry for you. Sheridan will carry back his bow to Suter. Everyone out there.
And this team of rugby superstars, they knew that Glasgow would have come out of the traps really quickly, and they're just keeping ball out to the 17th phase. They're just taking the sting out of that start that Glasgow so desperately wanted.
But equal, Glasgow doing a good job here. They're staying off. They're not giving penalties away. They're allowing them to get a little bit of territory, and then they fan out. So will that be enough?
Wilkinson, he's faked with the eyes, didn't he? Everyone thought he was going to pass to Matt Gitto. It's to get an Armitage in the end. It's Jovan Nierkirk. 22nd phase now as Gitto. To Stefan Armitage. This ball. It's ball bobbling around Carl Heyman. Crowd think he knocked it on. There's a really good crowd in here as well, but it went backwards, said the referee. And then he's holding on, and Glasgow get the penalty. And look what it means to the Glasgow players. Slapping each other on the back, and so they should now. That was a sustained period of pressure, and it's still 0-0.
Advantage Glasgow. the big beasts have come to carry the ball. What do? Is hold your discipline, hold your line, hold your nerve. And they've done that. Tackles made so far, obviously. Glasgow had no ball hardly, 23-9. But then that was good.
Well,
good play.
Let's go, 10. Just on you.
Really is a shot in the arm for Glasgow.
There's commitment. Is it Swinson, the big second row? Wilkinson will have a go at these. That's good.
You're playing on.
Good heart.
Okay?
And then they just waited 20-odd phases. And in these conditions, you're never going to be 100%. And your handling skills. And Carl Heyman deemed that it didn't go forward, and they went off their feet. And that was relief time for Glasgow Warriors. Oh dear.
But former centre, of course, for the South African. Disappointed to drop that ball onto his fellow countryman, John Smith. Likes the ball in the loose, doesn't he? We saw that down at Sandy Park.
Yeah, fantastic breakdown there. He is quick. He's not a bad scrummager either, but look at that. Woomph, he's onto it. Good break there, but again, it's just this little bit of a massive problem out there with the conditions to control of the ball.
You and I were down in Bath on Thursday, Dowie, and as much as there were handling errors and ball is greasy and will go through the hand, but Bath were able to move the ball with some purpose. It's about the realms of possibilities, is it, to move the ball around? Glasgow doing it in the opening couple of minutes.
Well, again, it's one of those conundrums in rugby. It would be a big upset for Glasgow to win this game, but an impossibility. They've got some quality guys there. I mean, a lot of Scottish internationals. You've got the Six Nations coming out. They want to impress. And the longer they stay in this game, they've got a great chance. Like I said, they were embarrassed in round one. They just couldn't get the game going, but they did in the second half. We know what skill they've got, but they've got to weather this storm. Toulon are not very good at playing catch-up rugby. They used to being in front, used to bullying sides. Wilkinson's boot, Gitto's boot. If that doesn't happen, there's a little bit of doubt that starts to creep in.
You know, they're 34-0 up at half-time, weren't they, in round one? Felix Smale went on to win 51 points to 28, and a great comeback from Glasgow. That's to do with Toulon taking a mental foot off the gas. But on the road, they've coughed and sputtered, haven't they? Lost 19 points to 15 and in Cardiff, and having a narrow victory at Sandy Park, 14-9. Impressive performance for the Chiefs that day. But it's not just in this competition they've struggled on the road.
And again, this is where it'll be won or lost, or start to be won or lost. A retreating scrum, but Wilson does well. That's the second one he's actually just picked up and drove. And this goes forward. Is it from Maitland? I think it is. And again, they're going to have to slightly live off scraps from that scrum if you can't sort it out. But Wilson, that was good yardage from a retreating scrum.
Okay, first time in your ball, stable, please.
Only one win in the last 8 top 14 games for Toulon.
Crouch.
You get Toulon into knockout rugby with all their experience.
Set.
They'll make it that this group of players won everything between them apart from the Pro 12, the Magnus League, the Celtic League, whatever you want to call it, between them. Comes to knockout rugby, they're a better squad to navigate their way through, and they were to be at home in that quarter-final. It's an automatic booking into the semi, isn't it? Eddie. Taken high by Smith. Jackson. Burgos. Chris Custer on the bench today. A young man, 24 years of age.
Eddie Smith. Wait.
He's not in the Scotland squad for the Six Nations, Burgos, but head of Chris Custer here, who is in the Scotland squad, Scott Johnson's Scotland squad. There's one thing about Glasgow,
You
they won't lie down. So once again, back and roll. Jackson again, his short little angles there. Doesn't use him in the end. Burden was there to make the tackle on the Glasgow fly half. Lamont. Matualo. Good hands for the Fiji combination. Ryan Wilson just having a word with the big Fijian second row, just saying probably don't need to give those kind of passes today. So they need to keep hold of the ball to build the phases up.
And this, as it was back, is better offside, probably half a yard.
It's up to you to do that.
Nakawara does very, very well to slip inside, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to force Toulon's hand. You've got to start frustrating. That was good play from Glasgow. I like that.
He has added some beef into that second row along Tim Swinson. Nakawara. Saracens had a really look at him in the summer.
Nice to see Stuart Hogg again attacking back. He had a particularly very good game against Exeter away. I'd love to see him with a ball in hand. The penalty happens against Glasgow. Again, they'll have to start that, but that guy there is scintillating with Matuala on the one wing. Maitland on the other. He can make things happen, even in a bog.
And it is a really, really dangerous back three, isn't it? Sean Maitland there. Hogg and Matualu, you've spoken about already, Dowie.
Don't be frightened to have a go. If it's a bad kick from Wilkinson or Gitto, have a go back. As long as you're in front of your forwards, you'll give them a target. And that guy, I love, whether he's playing on the wing or scrum half. Slightly goes off script sometimes, but hey.
He's got that X factor,
X, Y and Z.
Scored a try down to Felix Mail, round one in that second half. But Toulon at the moment squeezing Glasgow up front in the set piece. Penalty at the last scrum which created this lineup. Now they've got another penalty. And Burden and having a little push and a shove with Swinson. Nothing in there.
I think it was against Wilson, just bringing it down, sacking it.
Number 7 on this side.
You have a chance to sack it straight away, or the man that's got the ball, as long as he comes down. Anything after that, you're going to give a penalty away, and this is in Wilkinson range. Again, he was out training this morning for 2.5 hours in the rain. A little bit upset he couldn't get on the pitch. He had to train on the, obviously, training pitches to the left as we look. But this is good, and this is what they'll do. You can see Wilson just accidentally on purpose, isn't it? Joe Vanika appealing to the referee. And this is very, very kickable for Wilkinson, even though he's on Glasgow's 10.
Well, do you remember in round 3 at Exeter, he got 1 from 5 from the tee. He did get the drop goal to put them out of sight. He was then dropped the next week, came off the bench. So disgusted with himself. Since then, he has kicked 20 out of 21 kicks. Such is the dedication of the man, 34-year-old, still undecided about next season. Now he's a married man. .23 points in round 5, the most. 10 against the Cardiff Blues. Taking his time as he always does. Shoot that one sweetly. Some cheers and jeers around Scotstoun.
The crowd thought he took more than the minute, I think. This may be the last time Wilkinson graces a Scottish rugby field, so I think they've all come out in their thousands to see that, even in pretty bad conditions. And a little bit of them will be very delighted that he missed it.
Still attracts the crowds, doesn't he, Johnny Wilkinson? Not only him. Most people will pay the entrance fee to see someone like Matt Gitto or back his bumper plate. Lovely step from Hogg. Oh, Stuart Hogg is away. Matualu needs to keep hold of it. And he does. Drew Mitchell's done brilliantly. Hogg come across. Tullon's board. Brilliant piece of corner flagging from the scrum half. Saw the break, corner flagged across, but what a break. Little moment of jet magic from Stuart Hogg, the Lions fullback.
Brilliant. We talked about him, how dangerous it is. He's coming back to some form. Is there a turn happening up here? Wilkinson missing the goal and straight back. The ball gets kicked out. Easy option, right, let's just hoof it. It's in the 22. No, he goes, and look at this. This is a great sight for Glasgow fans, for Scotland fans. Maybe the chip through would have been my preferred thing to do, but he given Matawalu a chance, and the Fijian juggled with the ball. This is great. This is superb pace. The vision of the pass was there. Well done, Mitchell. He comes across, but again, it's not a turning point. Great play. 11 carries last week, Hogg, and he's on his way this week as well.
Set!
Tullon's board. Great scrum from Glasgow as well, isn't it? Sharon, Van Neerkerk. A little cuddle on the side as well. Bastero bashing his way to Pyrgos, but it's turned over again. Game is really beginning to open up now. Pusher has done so well to even get there. Swinson. It's back inside. Crowd getting themselves involved as well. Wilson and Hogg and Eddie. Pusher. The captain is a buzzball of a 7, isn't he? Not the biggest man, but well, he lacks in stature, heart and commitment and energy to the cause.
Well, Chris Fusser is covering every blade of grass out there at the moment. He's involved in fights with Van Neerkerk. He's on the right-hand side, he's on the left-hand side, he's tackling, he's carrying.
And just that extra edge to the intensity from Glasgow since that Stuart Hogg break.
Manage.
Trying to get those offloads away. It's the first time, and Toulon snap up the loose ball.
It's actually come off me.
Kicked by Toulon's board.
Come off my left leg. Scrum.
Came off JP Doyle's left leg, so Glasgow will have the scrum. But a great passage of play, and Glasgow really picking up the pace. Toulon currently in 4th on the 22 points. As a draw. And of course, as we've said already, any sort of win, and they will be at home, and they'll be at the top of that as it stands, 8 by the end of play today.
And Munster fans will be looking at that again, won't they?
Okay, ready to go, guys?
My mathematics, bonus point, 4 tries, they go above Toulouse, and this is not what a sight you want to see coming towards you in any conditions. The big red bus, Matthew Bastero.
No, yep. Just watch both teams.
I go with a red Arctic rather than a bus, probably.
I'm thinking more double-decker.
Oh.
But Glasgow doing well, they're doing the right things, they're keeping hold of the ball, like I said. Bastero is leading like a man possessed out there. Wilson is carrying off the back. Fergus, Jackson can do things, and when you've got Hogg in this vein of form and his ability just to step and to hold himself, you've got potentially you've got an upset. I know there's a heck of a way to go, but I've got a feeling up here. Really got a feeling in the water, and there's plenty of water about.
There's plenty of chats, and there's the calculators and abacuses get dusted off this week in the office. That if there was to be an upset this weekend, most people felt it would be here. Toulon's poor form on the road, and Glasgow's determination to turn them over after being embarrassed in round 1. Maitland really well to take that ball.
Use it.
Played in 4 of the games for the Lions. Did he in the summer? Try against the Melbourne Rebels. It's the offload from Glasgow. Smith tried to pick it up. In the end it comes to Pyrgos, and Jackson, he goes high as well. Mitchell, full back last week on the wing this week. Very useful to have 2 full backs on a day like today.
Ball available, ball available.
Ball is there, but who for? It's for Toulon. Monsieur Wilkinson slots in at 9. Gitto. He's awful, Mac. He's a dreadful player.
There could be something in the water. As I said, talking to Gregor Townsend before, and he says, is there a better 12 in world rugby? And I couldn't disagree with him. On that occasion, you have to disagree, because that's just unfortunately overcooked out on the full, and Glasgow get a bit more territory. And if that Fijian in the second row, Nakarawa, could just hold on to the ball instead of trying these offloads, they'd had 3 more field positions. Like, he's doing brilliantly, he's getting about, he's carrying, and he just tries the suicidal offload. So I'm sure there must be a word coming on from Gregor about that. Keep doing the same thing, but just hold on to the ball.
Stay out of the gap.
Of course, I was purely being sarcastic about Matt Gitto. Wonderful player, just been so influential on this Toulon side.
Forward on for second player, number 12. 12 now.
That defensive line coming up really quickly from Toulon, isn't it? Just putting pressure on the hands, which are going to be difficult today. Of course, later on today, 6 o'clock, Sky Sports 2, Leicester against Ulster from Pool 5, Welford Road. What a cracker that is going to be. Leicester on 20 points at the moment, Ulster on 22.
Do you think it'll be a sellout? They're in there now, I bet you, the faithful.
Yeah.
Right.
Sitting on the concrete.
All in front of the Crumbie stand.
Set.
Good on them. What a game that's going to be. What a game we've got here.
Yep, 25 minutes gone. Very different from round 1, isn't it? Just raining try. Stefan Armitage. The ball skills of Stefan Armitage. No Chris Marceau, of course, he's out for the rest of the season. So Stefan Armitage being asked to fill in at 8. He's doing a bad job, is he?
Lobby's injured as well. I don't know when he's back, but again, you just seen Gitto put one out in the full. You want to do it like this, Matt. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Come off the back, off balance, shin it right into the corner, and see what the position I give him forwards. It's easy, this. Easy.
There's 3 penalty tries last weekend, didn't they? And is claiming 2 of them in the post-match interview. Of course, the record books will say penalty tries. He was racing towards the line so quickly. As was Greg Gunn on the referee underneath the sticks. Mitchell. Just use a bit of a decoy to begin with. Van Niekerk picks it up, and it's a great pick-up in these conditions from the South African. Lifted the trophy last season, of course, didn't he? With that man, Wilkinson. Inside, Mitchell. Toulon just beginning to grow into this game. It's been a real seesaw of a first half. Bastereau now.
Stripping the ball.
Penalty,
Stripping
Toulon.
the ball in the tackle. He's on
No
the ground.
guesses as to what they'll do here.
Penalty given for stripping the ball away when he's on the floor. I think it's Swinson once more.
Tackle on the ground. Sold out. Don't play the ball.
Can't do it. Bastereau, again, they're good at this ball back inside from Wilkinson. When you've got that much power and pace, you don't have to be going at a great tilt of miles per hour. You just truck it up. And that's probably one of the best in the business for doing that. Get in a position, force the penalty. Here you go. This time it's Mitchell first. Stefan Armitage back out, then Telis Board decides back inside then, with Bastereau coming on the switch, and this time, put the curse on him last time. This should be 3 points in the first score of the afternoon. We're still in the afternoon, aren't we? Yes.
LC player of the season last season. Man of the match in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. His worth to this team. For the French rugby fans of Toulon to embrace him as one of their own says how important he is to Toulon. Missed with his first one. This easier, fairly easy for a man of his quality. And the flags are raised, and Toulon do have the lead. As it stands, they are top of the pile in terms of seedings as it stands.
And that'll do them now. If they could just turn the clock forward 80 minutes, they'd take 3-0. It's as simple as that. They need to come to do a job to get the win and get home to the sun of the south of France. But there's a lot of rugby to be played. But I suppose on the balance of things with all the territory, it's about right really. But this Glasgow side have come to play this afternoon, and they don't mind giving the ball a bit of width either.
12.
Ryan Grant, the line who's called out for Gethin Jenkins, wasn't he? Stuart Hogg in at fly half as he was against the combined counties for the Lions. Scored a try that day, didn't he? The bad fist of it. Fergus to Switzer. Rory Jackson. Caught. Dunbar. Fergus again.
Advantage.
Alex Dunbar. A half break that's set up this opportunity for Glasgow.
MacArthur just well to hold on to that ball.
Switzer again to back his both of them. Huge man that he is. Nice moment as well between the two players.
Very nice. And what also was very nice, Hogg again. He's just so graceful. And he doesn't lose any speed when he's moving off his left or his right. Go on, he's gone through the gap. Carl Heyman bopped off, and then his first instinct: keep your arms up, keep that ball up. Wow, that's a great sign for Scotland coming into the Six Nations, back to form. Carving defences up, breaking lines.
Did have that slight dip in form, didn't
he? Did, and he's had bad injuries.
That Lions hangover that plenty of players, not exclusive to Stuart Hogg, suffer.
What is
that break?
He's a young lad. How old is he? Have a look at your notes.
21 years of age.
There you go. He's got a bit of rugby to be in front of him then.
Points in this competition so far for Jackson. Scratch that. 21 points. We're all level again here in Glasgow.
Good strike, good 3 points. Stay in the game, Glasgow. You're doing more than that. Causing Toulon a few problems. And again, it's the breaking of Hogg from the midfield. We haven't seen Lamont, the man of the match last week, when he gets hold of the ball. But again, don't panic, just get some possession. Don't be afraid to give the ball some air. They're used to playing conditions like this up here anyway. So good sign from Glasgow. Well done.
Maitland takes on Smith. Ultimate internationals, isn't he, for Scotland? No surprise that he's been named in this. Another player named in the Six Nations squad. Dylan Armitage, up to his brother. Sheridan up to the halfway line. Using that power, aren't they, Toulon? They did last week against the Cardiff Blues.
Le ballon est là.
We're out at Cardiff are down to 13-minute times.
Jouez-le.
Near Kirk, just some stuff from Toulon at this moment. Wilkinson's wanting it. Slow ball though. Gitto. Armitage. To Lamont. Match against the Chiefs last week. Here's Smith. He's running cross field. Switzer was there.
Well, he carried the ball 17 times. Like I said, it's Hogg that's taking the limelight at the moment, and Toulon are getting very frustrated, and that all comes from a very good box kick from Burgos.
Maitland. Interception from Gitto. Carper's pass. Bastero, this time he's not trying to chip it over the defensive line, he's trying to smash it down. Stick to what you're good at. Burgos. He's there trying to make the tackle. It's to his ball. It's knocked on from the Toulon scrum half. Glasgow delighted about that.
Absolutely delighted. Again, Burgos initially about 5 minutes ago, it feels like 5 minutes ago, the box get a good exit strategy from both line out, and there you go, almost even Stevens in territory. One from the line out, one from a rucker maul, and then they just chase, and then they wait for Toulon to do something. And the frustration is the Armitage brothers. Oh my goodness. James Eddy on his 100th. He won't want to see that. And this is Bastro. No, don't kick it, mate. Just carry it. And that's what happens when you try and, you know, put the pressure on, and they want to force things, and they think, well, let's play down there. Dylan Armitage getting a bit of treatment. I'm sure he'll be fine.
I mean, you look at the bench that certainly played their part for Toulon last week. Rudy Wolford be an obvious replacement onto the wing, and Drew Mitchell will go to fullback if Dylan Armitage hasn't recovered, but it looks like he has. But Glasgow will be very, very happy. I would have thought with 3-0, 34 minutes gone.
Delighted, absolutely delighted. And you've got to say they played probably the better attacking rugby. When you've got a fullback that can cut lines like that, and you've got people, all of a sudden they go, oh my goodness, every time he gets the ball, alarm bells start right, and then the space opens up. Alexa Lamont in the midfield, Dunbar in the midfield, Maitland can pick a line. This is good. This is just my only one concern for Glasgow. Can they just hold there? They've done well there again, Wilson.
Grant MacArthur, low.
No, stop.
Very low. Shows the start today on the tight head. That experience that he has. 23 caps for Scotland.
Wow. Wow.
Fuck. What a kick. It's almost too good. It is. Oh my goodness. Look where they go back to.
There is a little bit of wind, but not that much. He has absolutely found that the sweetest sweet spot going, and it's just unfortunate that he's gone too far. That would have been brilliant. His forwards have been buying him pints of heavy all year if that had gone in 5 meters out, but it wasn't. But woof,
Stay in the second row.
he's got everything, isn't he?
No, stay.
Good break, good pace, good hands, good kick. He's not bad under the high ball, and he's in form.
Delighted with that kick despite the scrum going all the way back, but as we marvel at the kick, what it has done, of course, it's rolled over the dead ball line, brings the scrum back to just outside Glasgow's 22. Toulon scrum just before half-time. Crucial period now.
Concentration key. 4 minutes to go. You do not want Toulon, because again, a try and there's 7 points is a long way to come back. When you're just going down there to claw for penalties, it sounds negative in a sense, but it isn't, because it's so difficult. I think they'll take 3. They'll take 3 rather than 7, but it's that scrum again, the problem area.
Already.
You have the penalty.
Johnny Wilkinson has the ball in his hands. Sheridan, he's happy with his work. I mean, it's just an immense front row, isn't it? And the second row behind as well. All that weight with both Jose Suter as well. Mustn't forget them when it comes to scrum time.
Well, it's been a horror show for Gethin Jenkins last week and the boys when they were looking after the first 5-10 minutes for line-outs rather than scrums. Sheridan's done a great job, again, talking. Just he was the conditioner. You know, if he has a recurring injury, that could be it. They manage him, you said, Johnny, at the top, a day by day. He's lost a lot of weight because he said these old guys need to, but he's come back. He is absolutely stripped in a sense, and he's keen as mustard. He's got another year's contract after this year. He just wants to keep going on a match-by-match basis, but on that performance, I wouldn't want to scrum again in him.
Always known how strong Andrew Sheridan is in the days in the back row and the second row. Richmond and Bristol. And Toulon colours, and it's created this penalty opportunity for Johnny Wilkinson to retake the lead. He's done just that, just before half-time.
There's a few Toulon supporters splattered in the crowd. And again, there is a wee bit of wind. I think we saw Hogg kick that ball. There is a bit of wind out there, so it will be favouring Glasgow this half, favouring Toulon a little bit in the second half, and Armitage is back on the rampage.
L'extérieur!
Doesn't mind putting himself around, does he? Bumped a couple of times now. Taken back into the 22, so Johnny Wilkinson goes downfield to Wilson. He's got Hogg on his left-hand side. Wilson into the heavy traffic. Right, Grant.
I like Wilson. He sort of carries very, very well in the open play. He mops up a lot of work behind a retreating scrum, and he gets you those extra couple of yards. He's a good player.
Jackson. Feel they're going with such a strong defence, don't they? They only conceded 3 tries in the league before they met Toulon.
Two go back.
And they're blown away. They were top in the Pro 12, now down in 5th. And we played 10 games though, with those 2 games cancelled over the festive season. Tulis Bourne. Let's head down into that. The pitch is very heavy. The ref says ball went backwards from Matuala, and then Hogg with a huge spiralling kick. Wilkinson. So much of the rugby in this first half played in the middle of the field. Matuala, he can set off now. He can Glasgow again. Matuala has played scrum half, didn't he? Picked up there like that. Swinson. Glasgow wants something before half-time. Purgos. Stuart Hogg. Looks inside to Maitland.
2 knock-ons.
Double knock-on. Maitland and then Armitage. And it will be the Toulon scrum to surely finish this first half. And it's been a real seesaw of a game, and a game we not expected how it would go.
And I do admire him, but you've got to have a word, Gregor, at half-time. Your 2 second rows are fantastic out there. They're doing a lot of work, a lot of carrying. But Swinson first, giving a pass that really wasn't there. And again, Nakawara doing exactly the same. You've got to sometimes just accept the tackle, go down, don't try the offload. That went forward. But if this boy gets the ball, my word, I told you at the top, didn't I? He is just a fantastic rugby player that does things that normal people can only dream of. You can just see he makes space for people, whether he's playing on the wing, he might move into scrum half, laterally on. I know Custer's on the bench, but he is such a talent, such a spark, that he could be the difference.
We remember that great game here, where they finished the campaign last season. He was man of the match against Northampton in that win here. He's a real live wire. Get him a little bit more space on the left wing. He's in a really heavy, boggy part of the field. In the second half, we've got on the other side, a little bit firmer for him.
You should see him on a dry pitch as well. Get him on the running track around here. He's sidestepped you in a phone box.
Better scrum from Glasgow. Tulis Bourne says that is enough for the first half.
Yeah, and then they stopped.
Tough physical game, plenty of it, dominated by the conditions. But it's 2 penalties to 1. Glasgow still very, very much in this game. If they can just keep the 2.
Please make sure that you get behind our men as they come onto the field again. It is only 3 points of difference. Please welcome your
Yes, thank you very much, Jimmy. As it stands, Toulon will be at home in the quarter-finals. They've already achieved their 5th successive European quarter-final. But you just get the feeling, don't you? The moments of sparkle have come from Toulon, Glasgow, I should say. Stewart, Hogg, Matawalu in that back three, Maitland. Dylan Armitage was carrying a fair bit of that first half as well, but there is a try to be scored at the moment. You feel that Glasgow are going to be the side to score it.
All set up, no blocking.
Well, again, but they've got to get better than that. The communication skills on that restart from Wilkinson, all awry. They let it bounce, and then Ferguson, he kicks it. There you go, you've got to come on the ball. Someone's got to be there, Wilson, whoever is designated to be at the back there. There is a little bit of a wind advantage for Toulon now, but again, I think these forwards will fancy this. No, that ball's dropped. That's an accidental offside. That's good for Glasgow.
1 each, really.
Right past
There's
the
mistakes.
back,
They're going to their second half. As the guys are saying in the studio at half-time, how more rugby than we possibly expected. That's possibly what Gregor Townsend was saying just before the game. We've got a few surprises up our sleeve. We are going to move the ball and try and use this very potent back three.
Well, it's the bravery in a sense of Glasgow. That's the way they play. If you've got that guy in your team, you can play that way anyway. Because they haven't got the pack physically to try and out-wrestle Toulon.
Crouch.
Toulon will fancy this as an arm wrestle, but they've got to try and take it away from them.
Fine.
In the game, a little bit wider, a little bit wider, make them think a bit. And when Hogg, sorry to mention again, say this is the problem, they're going to get pushed back in scrum. And when Hogg can cut a line and can cut a defensive line, you've got a chance.
I feel that Toulon will want to go from set piece to set piece. You can see it, the scrum. Toulon ain't going forward.
Number 9 pulling.
Suter is pulled back by Giteau. Says don't get involved, don't need to. We've got the penalty. And no doubt, His Majesty, as he's no doubt in Toulon, Johnny Wilkinson will kick the goal.
Well, that's again a worrying sign for Glasgow Warriors, because they're just getting marched back there, and the referee, everything's been pulled. Teelis Board's getting in front of Pyrgos. Suter's just starting to squeeze a little bit stronger with Bakis Bota, and the power is coming through. Heyman, Sheridan, Burden in the front row. So this is again what Gregor Townsend wouldn't have wanted, and everything that Bernard Laporte and Johnny Wilkinson would have a chance again just to get another 3 points ahead very early on in the second half.
Just the start that Johnny Wilkinson and his side will have wanted. Not the start that Glasgow would have wanted. Just to make it 9-3 then. Simple chip. Swing of the left boot. We've seen it so many times. Newcastle colours, Toulon colours, and of course England and Lions colours.
Interesting now, all the forwards, all Glasgow's guys, forwards and backs are right in the middle, and all of a sudden, bump, gone split field, split kick, quick kick. That's good. This is maybe the thing Gregor Townsend was talking about. And again, the ideal return would have been a challenge at that. Unfortunately, it was so easy for Toulon, so they are trying things, but it's not happening at the moment.
Wilson, he's standing back there as number 8's do in the game. Toulon Sport, very, very obvious how Toulon going to play this game in the second half. They're looking for territory. They'll look to pick off the penalty. They've definitely got the physical edge up front. That driving ball, haven't seen too much of that so far. But any sort of lead, 6 points it is at the moment, go up to 9, and it's a massive lead in these conditions.
So every kick, every chase has to be spot on from Glasgow now. They're under pressure in the scrum, so they can't go back to that. Toulon can always go back to that. That's almost their security. It's almost their get out of jail card.
Just to give you the weather update, it's not raining at the moment. It is soft underfoot, of course, and all the rain we've had of late, but considering all that rain, isn't that bad. Slight wind from right to left, so behind the players in red, the Toulon players, as Toulon Sport spins out of one tackle. In this area of the field here, this 15-metre line to the touchline. This is where it's the softest, on this near side. Sport, a little chip over the top. Maitland is there. Pyrgos doing the blocker's role. NFL style, wasn't it, from the Glasgow scrum half?
And Maitland did brilliantly. Again, he didn't get pushed out to touch, and he managed to get that ball back under a lot of pressure.
Jackson Dunbar had a little juggle with it first up, didn't he?
Open play, it's open play.
But it's turned over by Toulon. It's Heyman. Gitto flapping it out to no one, it would seem. Poor David.
Now he's tackled.
Smith was out there, wearing 11, but on the right wing. That's what they did at the beginning of that first half, wasn't it? They built up to over 20 phases. Forward slightly further out this time, Wilkinson. Not the ideal pass, and he's just flung into touch by Glasgow. They'll have the line out.
They'll have the line out again. Communication wasn't good really from Toulon, but they're in the right area. That's it, they're 6 points up in the right place. So Glasgow have to force the hand a little bit, but again, don't do anything stupid. They like to go to the 5-man lines. They like to exit with the box kick from Pyrgos. Just keep your structures. Don't start throwing your ball under your 22, because one try now, you can see, would probably be the difference, and a long way back for Glasgow. But just set nicely, exit nicely, and put a bit of pressure on Toulon.
I guess Glasgow's results, especially this Heineken Cup, just how good a side they are. Win over Exeter at home last week as well. But there's 2 losses to the Cardiff Blues, 2 very different games. Helter-skelter going down in Cardiff, and then 7-9 tight physical affair here back at Scotstoun. Mistake by Rory Jackson, known his 100th appearance for the Glasgow Warriors. Disappointment written over his face.
It is, because he should have taken it. He knows that. First, brilliant, good line out straight down to Pyrgos. Pyrgos, 3-4 second box kick, great chase, forcing Toulon back in field. A speculative kick. It was in the 22, and then one. Look what happened. And where do you think this ball is going out? Wide to the wings from Toulon? No. I think this ball will be back straight at Armitage's feet at the back, and they will march forward. And the right thing to do. And there's Gregor looking on.
Not before the ball.
He won't, you know, it's difficult. He's not on the field. Rory Jackson knows he's done wrong, and he's put the team under pressure now.
Bind!
Played some rugby in France himself, didn't he, Gregor Townsend? Breathe and then cast. Knows how important the scrum is to French teams. Glasgow players very fired up. They know just how important this area of the game is. Another penalty here, and it's a mountain they've got to climb.
A lot of chatter going on there, trying to con the ref, the Glasgow forwards.
Okay, boys, feeding.
And JP Doyle has just had a word with Tida's board. No feeling. He's rolling this ball in, and he's rolling underneath the hooker's foot. So if he's true to his word, this should be a free kick penalty to Glasgow if he does it again. Again, we see referees in France a little bit more lenient on the straight laws or the hook laws now, as it is.
I have to referee it to see it. Come on, let's go. I can't referee it before it happens. On the loose head. On the loose head.
I've got JP Doyle, I have to see it before I can referee it. But
bind! Set!
Every scrum is now a very, very big moment for Glasgow. And Toulon. Twists round. It's not at the feet of Stefan Armitage. Johnny Wilkinson, rather Bastero-like, wasn't he? Smith now, Juan Smith.
Advantage, Millie.
So there'll be a mountain decline. They've got a penalty. They've got to try here.
Advantage, Millie. Millie.
Another penalty coming to Toulon. Heyman with that run.
Knock on, no advantage.
Well, the crowd are booing because Heyman dropped that ball, but they were coming back for the advantage, so it will be another scrum, even closer to the line. But Glasgow got a wee bit of a nudge on, a wee bit of a shunt on there, and disrupted the ball. It did come out eventually Toulon's way, but they're fighting. Heyman dropped that ball.
No, Glasgow knocked out the tackle.
JP Doyle's arms reflecting a penalty. It's just advantage. Carl Heyman knocked it on.
I have to see it. Come on. Well, come.
A lot of
right up to
chatter.
it, and be to the left, and I can
Craig
referee
Bird
it.
and the South Africans having a chat about something that I haven't seen, the referee hasn't seen it, and I think you mentioned, John, I can't give it if I don't see it. Heyman's having a word, Sheridan's having a word.
Can't referee from standing up, though.
2 penalty tries from scrums last week, wasn't it, against the Cardiff Blues? 1, the driving more from the line out. It's a tactic they
In your gaps,
haven't
please.
tried so far.
They
Not
haven't,
much.
had, they haven't had field position really to do that. They haven't. The conditions have dictated that. But again, when they get 5 metres out, they'll be trying to put the squeeze on here.
Set.
Sheridan against Murray Lowe on this near side.
You can see Lowe's trying to take Sheridan down as low as he possibly can. They'll go for a penalty. Sheridan doesn't like it because Murray Lowe knows that if he gets high, there's only one winner. Andrew Sheridan, the powerhouse as he is,
Dixie, is that exactly the same picture
try to
that
be
we've seen
low.
before? Right, okay. All right. So all we're refereeing here is, as the scrum is collapsing, your feet are all the way back. The feet are not underneath you. You are not supporting the scrum with your feet underneath you. That's 3 penalties now we've had against him, okay? Yeah. If he continues to be penalised for the same offence, I will yellow card him.
I think of any doubt about the message from JP Doyle there.
Right, so what do? You take him off and bring your other prop on. Unless it's all a super con, but you can see what he means. Basically, when this ball goes in, the power comes on, his feet goes up. It's difficult because there isn't a purchase there. But
Murray Lowe has to put his feet back because of the power, because of the weight, the strength of the Toulon scrum, and therefore, if anything gives, he's going to give.
And we'll let Tyrone Howe talk about that in the studio after. The result is Wilkinson in front of the post, almost. Position, territory, points. There you go.
Still such a dangerous weapon, the scrum. This then. Take a 9-point lead. Missed with his very first kick in this game. Hasn't missed since. And it is a 9-point lead for the champions.
Yep, and they're building a lovely lead, aren't they? It's 9 points now, and you know what? There's some cavalry coming on from Glasgow. Gregor Townsend's decided, right, I'm not going to leave it to the last 20 minutes, last 10. We've got to put something on new legs. We've got to try something. We've got to get some tries.
Just wait till he does.
Duncan Weir is on. New half-backs in. Rory Jackson goes off. Duncan Weir is on. More of a kicking fly half, you have to say. Duncan Weir. Chris Custer, very experienced campaigner on his scrum half. And importantly in that front row as well, Murray Lowe, who's just warned by the referee, has gone off. Ed Calman is the man to come on. A very experienced man, Ed Calman.
Number 21, Chris Custer.
Scotland international. He's on the tight head.
Well, you're talking about experience. Cussiter on. Purgos has done very, very well. But Jackson's done well. So this is what you need if you are going to build a successful team run or whatever. Is a good strength and depth in the squad. And that wasn't straight, but he got away with it.
And that's the big thing about Glasgow in the last season, especially this season, is their strength and depth. Strong as it's ever been. Ryan Grant, good in the loose today, isn't he? Lamont, back from his knee ligament injury.
Straight away, a little bit more buzz with Cussiter there. Chiving his forwards. Come on, give me runners. Come on, give me an option.
Barry now to bring up a bench, is he? 64 caps. The Scotland captain. As Dunbar kicks ahead, crowd feel he was taken out late.
Will they go into Uncle Graham Hughes in the trucks?
Can you check if the number 9 moved into the player or raised his leg? Did both. Okay.
Did both. 6 of one and half a dozen of the proverbial, but he's gone for Timo.
Can you have with the ball alighted, please?
And he's carded him.
Blocked him and he's lifted his knee into him.
Just going for a cup of coffee then.
To the sport. Knee up. And Toulon down to 14 men. Now, they have the penalty. Thought they originally, JP Doyle was going to go to the television match official. In the end, he made the decision himself, but Duncan Weir from the penalty has kicked the ball
22.
to that try area. It's too long, not in the field of play, and it's a 22 dropout to Toulon.
That will just infuriate Gregor Townsend. You've just had something turn for you. Let's have a wee look now. Tevis board comes in. I don't know, the touch, I thought you were up to I thought we were going to go to Graham Hughes and see him to have a look at it. The touch has obviously made the decision. JP Doyle then made the decision. Glasgow make another mistake. They're doing their best to lose this one now, Glasgow. Out on the full, even though Toulon are down to 14 men.
Yeah, Duncan Weir going to the dead ball area with his kick. Matualo with a drop from the kick downfield on the 22. Two mistakes. Toulon out of danger. Back into the Glasgow half.
And that's it. And there's 8 handling errors now. You've almost got to be clean. You almost got to make no errors if you are going to turn Toulon over.
Okay, let's go. Come on. Set the melee.
Never say never. Plenty of time still.
Gitto is playing scrum half. No need to bring Freddie Michalak on at this stage. Talking Freddie Michalak going at the end of the season, it's not getting too many starts, is he? Swift response to the Toulon management. Freddie Michalak is not going anywhere.
Set! Okay.
Not going anywhere off the bench at the moment. As Gitto plays scrum half. Solid that scrum is. Stefan Armitage. They've heard the call for Joe Van Niekerk. Stay up, Steph. And he did. He stayed on his feet long enough to get the support around him. 10th carry for Stefan Armitage now.
And that's what you get with him. Again, he's like a weeble, isn't he? You can't put him down. He's low to the floor.
Oh, right through the middle is Burden. We've seen him do it before. It's just come off a Glasgow hand. Illegally, said the referee. Matualo has now been sent to the sin bin as well. 14 against 14. Deliberate knock-on from the Fijian winger. Another penalty to Toulon.
Well, Burden has showed us in the first half what he could do. He showed us down in Cardiff what he got incredible pace. Used to be a centre, and it's given Matuala. You can see the left winger coming in, a deliberate knock-on because it's deemed that the pass, if it had been given to Bastro screaming on his inside, that was going to be a try. Well, it's difficult to say whether it's going to be a try. It's probably going to be 3 points, so they'll take that. Burden, he's a handful, isn't he? Been a great signing. Bruno out injured. They needed somebody to bring back in. He's not as disruptive as Bruno in the scrummage. I think Sheridan, Heyman and Bruno together are unbelievably powerful, but he just had something different. He's had that spark, actually. He's been the difference between this side at the moment.
Very similar breakdown at Sandy Park. Craig Burden set up Fresia for his try. Wilkinson. Doesn't look like missing now, does he? And this is a huge lead now for Toulon.
It is in these conditions, and what happens is you've got to show your hand, Glasgow. You've got your subs on now. You are going to have to play one specifically way. You're going to have to make risks. You have to play in the right area, whatever. But ball has to go through the hands. You have to score tries.
Yes, I know.
And what happens is you put pressure on yourself, and all Toulon will do will put pressure as Sheridan hobbles off and takes an extra couple of seconds. It's 30 seconds to come off. He gives a wink. Yeah, job done. And who did they bring on now? Someone small?
Yeah, Xavier Chocky, one of our favourite main players in this Toulon squad.
That is scrum.
Now his stats down at about 17 and a half stone. You had 2 to that, I would have thought. Glasgow now. Trying to play with wit. It's the only way they're going to come back into this game.
It is. That Lamont carrying. I think it's about the first time he's done it. With great effect there. Gitto rushed in on the defensive line and they played outside him.
MacArthur and Weir. Swinson. Oh, it might play out for Ryan Grant. Gone from Swinson. A tackle from Bastereau, wasn't it?
But they're going to have to try things like this. The crowd know it, Toulon know it, that's the big thing. Played some good attacking rugby from right to left. They come back the other way.
Much better scrum.
There's the big pass, boom, they're up. There's a slight, it's not so much a drift, it's an out to in. But Bastereau's coming at you, and it doesn't matter whether it's a second row. He forces the error, he forces the scrum, and he forces now Toulon to get the ball back.
It was really good.
And get out of their half, because they don't have to do anything else. They just simply have to get down into Glasgow's half and take whatever's on offer.
Enough to chance her on, don't they? New man will field out Tyrone Holmes. It's James Eddy. Always going to be a forward stay, wasn't it?
Set!
Along with this monster pack, of course, they've got superstars all over the field, but haven't seen too much from the likes of Gitto or Bastereau today. Plenty of that man. Johnny Wilkinson, as he again says to Glasgow, "You're more than happy to play rugby down in your half, thanks very much." Then returns Stefan Armitage. Armitage carries. And here's Run to try and put pressure on Glasgow, but Hogg was there. Inside ball. Ryan Grant. Looked tirelessly in the loose, isn't he, Ryan Grant today?
Advantage number 3, straight to ground first.
Heyman is being penalised. Stuart Hogg said, "I'll go for the drop goal," because he knew the penalty was coming.
No, I think you've got to punt this into the corner. So it was a kick to nothing, nice as if they get it, but I think they need a bit more territory. They need a position to launch something from.
Okay,
I mean, last time Duncan Weir had this opportunity, kicked it out, dead. And that was good from Wilkinson, because Glasgow had gone back thinking it's going to be a territory kick, and Wilkinson just puts the big up and under and makes Glasgow come forward. They do. And the result is a position for Weir, and hopefully he's done better this time than last time he does. And the crowd getting on their feet a little bit now. This will be interesting, a 7-pointer, 10-15.
Into the last quarter, there's over 6,000 people here. Majority of them Glasgow supporters. Brave in the cold and wet to cheer their team on. Score now, and
advantage number 6 in the air early.
Penalty already coming.
That's a card.
To Glasgow, they want more here. Swinson. Becky's Botha makes the tackle. Chris Cussiter says to his forwards, "Get round," while Ryan Wilson is there.
Early 6, tackle in the air.
Recipient.
6 in the air.
Juan Smith is penalised.
Right. What would have happened if Greg Garden had been refereeing this game? He was refereeing last week's game against Toulon and Cardiff.
6.
They were going to that line at a great rate of knots.
Tackle
Initially, it's been given
on the man in the air
for Juan Smith bringing it down. Then after that, they rush to the line and someone brings it down.
But what I would say is Cardiff had given a lot of penalties away before that. Was it accumulative?
All right, I'm with you, but there we go.
It's not last week, it's this week.
This is where Smith gives you what they're going for it. There's 1, 2, 3 red forwards on the floor that have deliberately brought that down. Just making a point.
It's a valid point, though. MacArthur needs to get his first action right. He has. Nakarawa with the line out. Tank already. Toulon have sacked it. And round the short side. They may well have turned this over, the champions here. Yes, there it is for Wilkinson. No scrum half with Judas Board off the field. This will be their last play with him off the field. Gitto is charged out. Quickest to react is Johnny Wilkinson. Glasgow is still there. They think they've scored. A real mess in there to sort out for the officials.
Cardiff's in goal.
He's bobbling around.
just check to see how it's grounded. Jeff, JP, can we check how the ball was grounded in goal, please?
Okay, we're checking in goal.
There's no offside lines in goal.
Because if it's
so
in goal, you can charge in from the wrong side, you can jump up. If that ball was going dead, you could be even outside the tram lines, the line out. That ball's kicked forward, so right, you're in play, it's touched. Wilkinson gets it back, can't see where the try line is.
Where is the try line now?
It's difficult. It all depends the grounding now, because the ball either gets kicked through or pushed back. There's hands going, we need the other side. Graham Hughes will not be able to tell from there. So right. This is it. It gets pushed out now in a second. Again, we'll have to have another camera angle to see. Any second now, I'm sure the ball comes out. And then there, that's a touchdown, that's a try. I'm
JP,
sure.
Yep, you may want to try.
It is a try. Glasgow do get their moment. Certainly wasn't pretty. What a moment. Just what Glasgow needed to get themselves right back into this game. And what a finish we have now here at Scotstoun.
And that's what you need. A little bit of luck. Like I said, if it's over the try line, it's a free ball. You can jump in from anywhere. You don't have to have control. You have to have downward pressure. And that's just made a slight bit of difference, hasn't it? And this is a slight bit of difference. Well, another 2 points, if you please.
Vital conversion. We're sliding across the face of the post. It remains 8 points to 15. Slightly unsure who's the arms outstretched on it, Inspector Gadget-like, to score the try. Fusaro is the man claiming the try.
I'm sure we'll get that confirmed, and it doesn't really matter. It's a try, and Toulon now have to start again. Wilkinson kicking long. Glasgow returning the kick with a little bit on it, but Armitage drives once more.
Virgil Bruni is on. Guadzi is on in the second row as well. He spoke near Kirkhoff. Tubisport is back on as well. Glasgow now with Cussiter. Suter, big hit, but the replacement scrum half just rides the tackle.
Okay, legit.
Nakarawa. Glasgow playing rugby deep in their own half. Not where they want to be. Just under 14 minutes left on the clock. Plenty of time.
Graham.
Hold on.
Is there possible foul play on the 15-metre line by Red 5?
Foul play on
Red
the 15,
5, which is
Red 5 we're looking at. Okay.
I think you mentioned it, Johnny, on Chris Cussiter. I think the
Potential
tackle,
foul play against Red 5.
at first look of it, it was fine. It was very, very physical from both sides, but we will see. It's all go, isn't it?
It's the Heineken Cup day. What did you expect?
Quiet afternoon in Glasgow?
Yeah.
No.
Soggy afternoon.
Soggy.
Certainly. It's just a Suter, isn't it? The French international.
Here we go. Chris Cussiter. Again. Oh, it's a difficult one because Cussiter's coming at a heck of a tilt. Shooter's come in, he's trying to get his arm round.
He has tried to get his arm round.
And he's bounced off. He hasn't put his shoulder into it.
I don't know, I didn't see it.
Some tackles we see, he's just gone there. He's gone with his arm. No, he's gone with his arm, and the contact has pushed Cussiter back. Has there been foul play? No. I don't think it's a physical game. Cussiter's fine. He's carried on with the ball.
JP.
I think we'll go back.
He has led with his arm, but the contact's been at the end with his shoulder in the sort of neck area of the player. But
Is it like a high attempted tackle?
He did lead with his arm first.
So penalty only?
Yeah.
Okay, failure to grasp penalty on the 15.
Here,
Okay,
television
penalty
match
here,
official,
penalty
but
there. Penalty here. 5, failure to grasp. Okay. Utilisez le bras.
He's fine. He's a big lad against a small. It happens. And I think the correct decision there. But Glasgow get the penalty, get some territory, and then they start again.
Duncan Weir puts Glasgow back down towards that halfway line.
Give yourself room.
Double sub happening now for Glasgow. Ryan Grant comes off, and a name I've been looking forward to saying all day. Yanu Tower is on.
I've been ribbing Johnny all day about the pronunciation of that man, and he's done excellently.
He's had an issue with Smith.
If I was doing, he's a big lad from Fiji, so.
Some riders on as well.
Slow by your own leg.
Just bounced in field.
Tom Riley, you just mentioned on a tremendous game last week down in Devon. 13 carries, 13 tackles. That's the type of person you want coming off the bench. You've got the dander up here. There's a good nudge. That's what you want. Pressure time now on Toulon. It's still ahead. 7 points. That's a great kick.
Not over yet by some distance.
Glasgow.
Richie Vernon has come on. Atualu Simon is over. Back up to 15 each. Richie Vernon normally plays in the back row. Is out on the wing. Toulon Sport. Back on the field as well. Maitland and Hogg.
Vernon on the wing. He's just better get hold of the ball. Again, a big ball carrier. He won't drop that ball. He'll get over it. He'll give you a bit of presence. I like it.
That was Dunbar. It's cute stuff from Gregor Townsend, as you would expect from him. Very intelligent as a player, very intelligent as a coach. Weir. Toulon Sport was rushed there, wasn't he? Glasgow squeezing Toulon now. Keeping the pace of this game up.
Duncan Weir, superb, absolutely superb. The ball just staying there, so it means they get the throw in the line out. Toulon Sport does well, actually sweeping back, as all good scrum halves should, but again, Glasgow in the right area. Possession, that's why they're back in this game.
Cussiter. Ryder. Little ball inside. Neat, wasn't it?
Go left.
Oh, Cussiter. Cicero just confirmed he was the try scorer with that bizarre score. Glasgow with possession.
Take it back.
7 points the difference. Any sort of win, let's just confirm, any sort of win today for Toulon, they will be confirmed.
Use it.
The home quarter-final. In today as top seeds.
Just running out of forwards, Glasgow there. They're trying to pick and drive, but there was no other option. Now they go wide.
Weir. Dylan Armstrong's trying to turn that ball over. Cussiter goes one way, comes back the other to find Ed Kalman. Now he gets the ball back again. Holmes. Stefan Armitage over that ball, but he's turned it over. It's brilliant work yet again from Stefan Armitage. We say it week in, week in, out with Toulon as Stefan Armitage. He turns the ball over for fun. And they've sent Glasgow back as Stuart Hogg slings out a pass to Weir. Bastro is there.
Option.
But Toulon will be happy with the territory where they're playing the game now.
You mentioned it, turnover, the guys there, the fetchers out there,
Yeah.
I know Armitage has got 8 in his back, but he's an out-and-out open side, and that changes you games. One quick turnover, you're under pressure, you get a score against you, Glasgow, you're almost drawing the game, another 7 points. And there's the try. He's been absolutely everywhere. He didn't think he scored it at the time, Fussereau, but he did. It's deemed a try, and he's been outstanding. He's put Glasgow back in this. His play for most of the game has put him back in this, but coming back to Armitage, 1 turnover, 40 metres, and then, you know, you've got to come back a heck of a way. On a bit of a put-in of a pitch is difficult. You can see what Stuart Hogg's trying to do, but he didn't get much purchase there, and the big red line came up and stopped him.
Advantage 18, tackling.
Speak about that turnover from Armitage.
18 tackling 19 without the ball.
Of course, you've got to have the physical attributes to turn them all
Offside.
over, but his
back,
timing
Glasgow!
when he gets over the ball.
Offside.
Right on cue, Stefan. It's Johnny Wilkinson with a drop goal. Far too short
Offside.
for Johnny Wilkinson, but Glasgow are offside. He's a shot to nothing.
Plus 18,
For Mr.
18,
Wilkinson.
tackling the lifter. Tackling the lifter as well.
Kalman was penalised that time. Doogie Hall is on, so the Glasgow pitch is completely emptied.
Carries 11, metres made, tackles made. Again, when pitches like this, it slows down a little bit, so the front 5 are making a lot more tackles. But again, it's that ability to observe the situation and just, whoomp, I'm in, and I've nicked the ball.
The latest player to go on the field, Jean-Charles Orioli. Bernard Laporte, director Robbie, happier than a couple of weeks ago, as you know, that bizarre loss to Grenoble in the top 14 with Bougelal didn't know if he was going to turn up to training on Monday.
Spat the dummy through the teddy, did everything.
I was the entire toy box
Yeah,
was
it was,
tipped
yeah.
over.
Lego.
Happier now, and he'll be happier if Johnny Wilkinson can get this one over. He can't. It remains 15-8 to the champions. Second miss of the day.
7
from Johnny
points,
Wilkinson.
7 points the gap. Still, sorry, so
Stay
it's a
behind the
converted
line.
try just to get there, but even by missing that, Glasgow a lot of work to do. They know they've got a 22 dropout. This will go long, and I'm sure Toulon will get this and hoof it back down.
Got back by red, forward,
Heyman.
knocked on advantage by blue.
To this
Advantage
ball,
over.
Joanne Smith. We're going to finish this one off now. Toulon. Final nail in the coffin.
It's ahead of the mark. You're ahead of the mark.
Bastro wasn't going to
an
pass
option,
that
Dixie?
ball. And again, I'd be mad if I was Laporte. He tried to just offload the pass out there, but you can just see Gitto at the back of things, trying to organise, stop them getting the ball. There's the confirmation, Johnny.
Couloir.
You want to have a go with that one?
Gardez le couloir.
Yeah, of course, Ulster and Leicester still have to play later on tonight. But Toulon out of 24 points. Home quarter-final confirmed if there's no changes to the scoreboard.
You're fine, you're fine, you're fine.
There can be changes, but they still need to be ahead on it.
They'll take it. Cassida, again, only option. You're not going to run out from underneath your posts. There's a slight, like I said, there's a slight advantage of wind.
Okay, we
Toulon,
penalise them
and
for
that's the
playing in
game
the air,
you're
so
talking
nothing in the
about.
air, okay?
What a game at Welford Road.
Yeah, also going into that game on 22 match points. Leicester 20. Oof. There's been some tussles between those two in recent years, haven't there? We've nicked it. Tom
that a
Ryder's got
knock-on?
in there.
Play on, play on. No, no!
From
Here's
the
your
Sarries man. Good performance from them earlier on today. Thumping Connaught. David Smith. Pragmatic approach from Toulon. We're always going to expect that today. Not only the way they've been playing, back to basics, but also the conditions. To be fair, Not better than they were this morning, but here come Glasgow. Richie Vernon. Vernon into that 22 now. It's a great run from the back row, who's out on the wing. Here come Glasgow again through Duncan Weir. Good scramble defence from Toulon though. 7 points the difference. Honk. Hall is there now. Doogie Hall.
Use it.
Holmes arrives. Referee says use it. Glasgow forwards.
Pick and drive, pick and drive.
Kalman. Round the side. Stephen Armitage again trying to turn that ball over. They're committing no one to that breakdown at all, Toulon. Tulis Bohr tries to hold up the man. Cassiton out. Into Hamer. Here come Glasgow. This performance forged for that embarrassment of that opening 32 minutes or so in round one of the Stade Felix Maillard.
Stuart Hogg's got into 10 now, the left-hand side, he wants this ball.
Still hurting from that defeat. 51 points in the end it was. Vernon, who started all of this. He's caught by Wilkinson. Cassiton out. Macararo. Cassiton, Kalman. Into Smith. Smith, China. Somehow just get his hands on the ball, he can't. Cassiton again feeds his forwards. Up to the 16th phase now. Yanu Tawa. Scotland crowd in full voice now. They can sense there might be something on here. Ed Kalman again. He's carried really well since he's come on. Cossiter. Lacarawa. Cossiter. Weir. It's going wide now. Stuart Hogg. Glasgow still coming. Still with possession. Still with patience. And that's the key. Can they come through the forwards? Toulon, little shorter numbers on their right-hand side. That's where Glasgow go. Weir.
It's a high tackle. He's got an advantage coming here. You've got a shot to nothing, Glasgow.
Dylan Armitage with a high tackle.
Offside. Offside.
Apologise if you heard any unsavoury language in that exchange.
Hey, I'm on a mic. Go back on your side.
What do you do though? Your scum's starting to creak. You got a minute and a half to go. You put it into the corner and you hope your hooker hits the double top. Or have they got one of those special Gregor Townsend moves up your sleeve? They haven't. They've gone for the corner, they've gone for the kill, they've gone for the throat. 7 points gets a draw. Obviously they've got to score a try first to be up there, but what a finish.
It would mean 2 points for Toulon if it were to finish a draw. They would go up to 22, level with Ulster. Level with Leinster. One below Toulouse, Clermont, Munster still to play. Of course, Leicester and Ulster as well, but Glasgow have to score first. Ryan Wilson has taken the line out.
They've got it up.
Toulon have sacked it.
They've got it up though, that's the main thing. Don't panic, get it to the back. Get your legs pumping. Come on, Glasgow!
Still there for Glasgow. They've been beaten up by their forwards. There's only one man out for Glasgow. Full commitment. There's no one to pass to. They'll have to pick and go. They've been beaten up all day by this Toulon pack. Now it's their turn to have their moment. Is it going to be their moment? Now they fan out wide. Stuart Hogg is out on the right-hand side. 80 minutes has gone. This is the final play. What a finish here in Scotland. Cassiton. Yanu Tawa. His turn to have a go at that line. It's brilliant defence from Toulon. Haven't mentioned it, we should have. It's brilliant for the champions. Rear guard action. Weir, it's out wide. The pass has gone to deck. It's Stuart Hogg who's picked it up. Has their moment gone there? Up out towards there.
15.
Toulon's 22 now. It's Tom Ryder. Nobody has really looked like scoring all day long from long range. Now they're going to have to do it though. Is it going to be through Duncan Weir, who goes into Stefan Armitage?
Well, you're not going through him.
Cassiter, one mistake and the game is over,
Let's
and
go!
Toulon have a home quarter-final.
Okay.
That's what's at stake here.
Fantastic spirit heart. Again, it's all about controlled fury. Glasgow doing well, but they've just been hit back about 20 or so metres, but they're trying to regroup, they're trying to rethink. Where does this go? Keep it tight, go wide. Cassiter is in the van. He's the man now with all the decisions to be made. Shall I keep it with my forwards up the jumper stuff, or can I go wide?
Heyman was so close to turning that ball over there. Weir, oh, he's got boot to ball, it's all over. That is sort of defence that you have to be champions. It was brilliant defence of Toulon. Glasgow so brave towards the end. Fantastic brave performance for them, but they've come up short yet again.
Yeah, it was the wrong decision right at the end, but bravery was shown. Hogg was fantastic. I think Pissarro was absolutely brilliant, but my Heineken Cup man of the match, again, he played like a 7. He's got 8 on his back because Chris Masoi is out injured. Is Stefan Armitage. Heineken Cup man of the match, turning ball over, carrying ball. Again, he had a dominant pack in front of him, but he was the standout man equally as that man. Chris Pissarro led by example. Every blade of grass was covered. The try scored. It was a great second half performance, but they just didn't quite have the ammunition to do it. In the end, Toulouse's defence saved the day.
Well, Glasgow restored so much pride. It was always going to be there for the forwards with the conditions, and then you need a kicker, and in Johnny Wilkinson, they have one of the best, don't they? They have put this pool to bed. A home quarter-final for the reigning champions. Not many will fancy a trip to the Côte d'Azur. Never lost at home in this competition. Well, the Toulon European juggernaut, and it is a juggernaut, steamrollers on to a home quarter-final. They have beaten Glasgow here at Scotstoun.